Let's start this off with a quote. I discovered something that's going on. There was a promotion that the library was putting on, and I started looking into it, and I realized that our library is putting sexually explicit materials in the hands of minors. That's a direct quote from Steve Dillard here. I'm appalled that the mayor, nor anybody else up there, bothered to call him on that. Didn't bother to ask him what those materials were. Didn't bother to ask him anything about it, to verify what he was saying or anything else. Turns out those books were, if I'm not mistaken, and Tango Makes Three, a story about penguins. Not sure how penguins are sexually explicit there, Mr. Dillard, but sure would like to find out. The other book was When Aiden Became a Brother. A story about welcoming a new child into the family. None of them feature anything sexually explicit. At the library the other day, it was shown why it wasn't considered sexually explicit material. And yet, Mr. Dillard didn't bother to even come to back up his position after starting this controversy for our town. Mr. Dillard didn't show the backbone to defend his own spot. Had enough gumption to lie from up there by saying that these books contain sexually explicit materials. Had enough gumption to defame our public library, its staff, and its board by saying that they were putting sexually explicit materials in the hands of minors, but couldn't stand up for his own spot. Steve Dillard, I call on you to resign your spot up there for lying to this community, for stirring controversy in it unnecessarily, and for defaming our public library, which is one of the best in the state. But you took it upon yourself to make all of it bad. For what? To show yourself to be a bigot? I don't know. But nothing about what you said was true. You bring shame on this town, you bring shame on this council. Shame on you. Resign.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of them, I'm sure, it was because the one issue that you've spoken up about was to get rid of books in our library with a definitive theme to them. But I think a lot more, probably, are feeling very unrepresented. That, sir, you may have failed at your job on this council. Over the course of the year and a half that you've been in that seat, you've only spoken up on one topic. Everything else has been, this is what happened in my committee. I agree. Not a whole lot more words even than that. So, I dare say, sir, you've indicated that you got a great deal of support behind what you're doing. The only support that's come here and spoken up hasn't been from your ward. Most of it hasn't even been from Seaside. Seaside has spoken up against it. So, really would like to know, since the deadline is Wednesday, are you going to resign, or are you going to cost this city the money to run a recall? You can go ahead and use the mouth that you don't use while you're up there most of the time.
You keep coming into this room month after month and accusing me of something that didn't happen. And I appreciate Donna. She's an intelligent person. She spent 3 minutes coming
Okay,
coming
it's
here
not time
and
for a back
talking
and
about a
forth.
red herring that I have not challenged any books, and you've berated me for
didn't just
that.
say
And
you
I
did.
have not challenged anybody's identity. And the books that I did call out as sexually explicit had nothing to do with LGBT. And if you want to bring somebody else's conversation into this room and talk about that and put it on me,
Would
you're
you
out of
rather I
line.
bring